Trumpet sounds of golden harps. I saw in a Zion these crystal balls of lightning, thunder in different sorts. 420 I shines around these. Trumpet sounds of golden harps. I saw in a Zion these crystal balls of lightning, thunder in different sorts. 420 I shines around these parts. Trumpet sounds of golden harps. I saw in a Zion these crystal balls of lightning, thunder in different sorts. 420 I shines around these parts.
It was very cloudy, earthquake over the north and the south side. Seraphim, thrones and a ark. I'm a melanin in a my cerebral spark. Eyes behold King Selassie, the almighty monarch with dominion, double-edged sword well sharp. I read them sailing a Vatican art from far out. Wailing souls are rotting. Don't fall in a valley of the bloodbath.
Trumpet sounds of golden harps. I saw in a Zion these crystal balls of lightning, thunder in different sorts. 420 I shines around these parts. Trumpet sounds of golden harps. I saw in a Zion these crystal balls of lightning, thunder in different sorts. 420 I shines around these parts.
I know arrogance, all of the folly get all those sorrow dance. Only rejoicing thoughts, good memory in the files of a cash. Angelical food served in a calabash. Black jungle, Maxigan, Aquadash, Sacanalo. Keep a eye intact, one movement. Plants of the highest of ash. All over the premises, the mineral a wash at you.
Trumpet sounds of golden harps. I saw in a Zion these crystal balls of lightning, thunder in different sorts. 420 I shines around these parts. Trumpet sounds of golden harps. I saw in a Zion these crystal balls of lightning, thunder in different sorts. 420 I shines around these parts.
The green grass turning parts of my ras. Enter the great seas of that liquid brass. Gold scepter, place where the liquid stars. Ancestors seated around and a laugh. Such joyful feeling, the smoke no cough. I licking Rastafari around.
Trumpet sound.
I licking Rastafari around.
Trumpet sound.
And then me hear when the cherubim sound, hear them sounding.
Trumpet sounds of golden harps. I saw in a Zion these crystal balls of lightning, thunder in different sorts. 420 I shines around these parts. Trumpet sounds of golden harps. I saw in a Zion these crystal balls of lightning, thunder in different sorts. 420 I shines around these parts.
And it was cloudy, earthquake over the north and the south side. Seraphim throne on the ark. I'm a melanin in a my cerebral spark. Eyes behold King Selassie, the almighty monarch with dominion, double-edged sword well sharp. And he heard them, bring them up in a Vatican art. So far out, wailing souls are rotting. Don't get caught up in a the bloodbath of the
Trumpet sounds of golden harps. I saw in a Zion these crystal balls of lightning, thunder in different sorts. 420 I shines around these parts. Trumpet sounds of golden harps. I saw in a Zion these crystal balls of lightning, thunder in different sorts. 420 I shines around these parts.
Reggae.
Yeah, man. Yeah, man. Yeah, man. Yeah, man.
Yes, I. Love and respect.
All right.
We here. We forward again. Number
Again
three.
and again. It
Number
don't stop.
three.
It won't stop.
Alchemical Keys to the crystal vaults. And the crystal of today,
Oh.
Prehnite.
Oh. What?
The healer of the healers. Those who serve, those who heal, those who give a lot of themselves. And they feel like, why? No rest for the weary. You know? Do I got more to give? This is the stone for you. And that's why we're talking about it today. So, yeah, man.
Healing for the healer. You're right.
What's your thoughts on the Prehnite and what else you got? What love and openings you got for the people, my brethren?
Hey, man. Well, it's always an honor and a blessing to be out here with one of my key elders. You know, I ain't trying to throw that elder thing on you yet. Like, we well qualified based
but
on how you
I am in the middle of my second Saturn return.
Well, look, I got more salt and pepper in my thing than you do. So, I ain't trying to make you too old, man. And what that make me,
True.
Yeah, man. But the Prehnite, what a awesome reflection coming out of 2022, because we covered a lot of ground in 2022. And this is why we had to cover Prehnite early, because Prehnite's gonna have a lot to do with 2023. As far as I can see. You know what I'm saying? As we're navigating this thing called 2023, you probably want to get some Prehnite in your life. And Ross, I've been working with Prehnite for years, but you the one that really focused and emphasized, like, yo, what did you just give me? And how much it has impacted your movements, day in and day out. Yeah. What did you just lay on me? That Prehnite. And that sign right there it just boom, it sparked. 2023, we got to shine light on Prehnite. The people need it now more than ever.
Yes, I affirm that.
Yeah. Hey, but you know how we do, man. Look, frequency is everything. Ain't nothing out here existing that ain't subject to a frequency. So, as members of this ancient imagination, with your permission, let me go on and get the frequency right.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, man. All right, then. Glory unto word, glory unto sound, glory unto power, glory unto the Iwa, glory unto the Holy One of creation, Emperor Haile Selassie Jah, Rastafari, King of kings, Lord of lords, conquering Lion of the tribe of Judah, elect of thyself, light of the world. Haile Selassie. We're giving thanks for this day, for the blessings and the provisions, for the love, the guidance, and the protection all around Mount Ayanai. We're thankful for this day, and we pray it be a strengthening unto we, the whole of we, body, mind, and soul. We give thanks for our ancestors, for many generations of blood, sweat, and tears. Give us strength in these times to stand in the light of the Most High. We give thanks for our elders, their wise minds, their knowledge and understanding, guiding I and I through these times. We give thanks for the youth, them. Their life and their love is the light and the hope for redemption, liberation, repatriation in the sight of the Most High. And we give thanks for I and I divine unions. It is the foundation upon which I and I stand in the name of the Most High Jah, Rastafari Empire Haile
I.
Selassie
Yes,
I,
I.
His Divine Empress, Omega, Empress Menen, that ancient matrilineal system, Alpha and Omega, for perpetuity. Both them things have to in order. You know? Yeah. Alpha and Omega have to be in order to perpetuate any tradition that is alive on earth. Can't just be Adam and Steve,
Mm,
you know? You gotta
mm,
have some mama in the mix.
mm.
If we're gonna
For generation.
perpetuate the
That's
most
right.
highest design, you know? Yeah. Can't just Adam and Steve our way through this thing, you
Mm,
know?
mm.
Yeah. Give thanks, brother. Hey, Prehnite. Why'd you choose Prehnite? This was your choice.
It was. Because, well, like I think you said it. I think it's the stone for 2023 for many reasons, you know? One is we'll just talk about the physical health benefits. We'll start with that before we get into the what I'm saying, metaphysical, you know, or beyond the physical. Man, few stones bless the kidneys like prehnite.
Mm.
Get the water element of your body proper, you know? And the water element of our bodies, if you're living in an urban 5G environment, the water element of your body is being stressed. Because if you study the frequency of water, it resonates between 1 and 5 gigahertz. Okay? Like FM radio broadcast in the megahertz. Okay? Microwave oven. What does it do? How does it heat the food? By shaking the water molecules in the food and causing them to have friction, right? What's the frequency of that broadcast happening in your microwave? Yeah, about I think it's about 1.8 gigahertz. It's within the spectrum of the frequency of water. Okay? So when you're living in this 5G reality, the water element is stressed. And the two key organs that deal with water management, one being your thyroid, but we're not going to talk about that today. The other being your kidneys. Your kidneys need extra support. And the prehnite is the one. It gets our water element. Prehnite alchemically is a calcium aluminum silicate. Okay? So it's primarily calcium and silica. And when you look at prehnite in its raw state, like this is a nice specimen, right?
Oh.
You can see how porous. It's a soft stone. Calcium stones tend to be porous, meaning if I was to put this in water, it's definitely going to interact with the water. If I was to put a quartz in water, right, energetically it'll interact with it, but not the water ain't going to get up in the quartz. The water will definitely get up in prehnite, you know?
Team.
And
Team.
its ability to absorb and look at that sea green. It's like a tranquil pastel green, right? It's putting that.
What's up with those dark greens seeping in from the bottom? What is that?
Hold up. Let me seal this
Oh.
thought first. All right. But yeah. That sea green impacting the water of your body is so soothing and blessing to the kidney. and
Mm.
the blood and the water element in our bodies, you know? So
Fiend.
physically, that's the biggest thing with that I would say comes with Prehnite in 2023, you know? And we all on our
Fiend.
computers, we all on our cell phones, we driving and walking by these 5G towers, we're living around it. Yeah, our water, it ain't it that 5G frequency's not hitting you in your bone, right? It's not hitting you in the hard parts of your body. It's hitting you wherever your water is.
Mm.
So now
Yeah.
you asked a really relevant question. What is this green stone here?
That dark element.
This dark one. This is called epidote.
Epidote. There
Epidote,
it go. There it go.
right?
Epidote. There
So
it go.
yeah. The antidote. I call epidote the antidote.
Epidote. I like that.
Poverty.
I like that.
It when you talk about epidote means basically to increase from within, to increase from the core, you know? And that's what the meaning of it means. And so epidote, what epidote does ultimately is it brings the best out of you. Okay? But this is the thing. If any stone comes with a warning, when you read, like, you know, if you go online and research about epidote, you're going to see all these warnings that if you're in a bad mood, if you're in a bad vibe, right, don't wear epidote. Because what it's going to do is bring more of that out, right? My perspective on it is if you're working with straight epidote, that's very possible. There's another stone that I'll bring up as an example with that, and that would be ruby and zoisite. A ruby is a hot red stone, you know? And so people that are hot tempered, you know, quick to anger, you'll hear them say, avoid wearing red ruby, because it'll light your fire. It'll lessen the internal discipline you'll have to, you know, not explode, right? But if you mix ruby, grows in a matrix called zoisite that's green, right? And so what I've observed is that if that's the case, if you wear the red with the green, the ruby with the zoisite, its natural matrix minimizes that potential ruby might have. So I'm bringing it up to say all warnings about epidote, when it's mixed with prehnite, I think you ain't got to worry about it. That the matrix of prehnite, if you mix it with the epidote, right, that you can wear the epidote without worrying about, oh, I'm in a bad mood. You know, this epidote's going to magnify it, because
Right.
prehnite, one of its, like what they would say, characteristics, it is supposed to uplift uplift your spirit. So one's doing abundance works, prosperity works, attempting to bring out your best. Epidote is considered a Jupiterian stone, right? That blesses the liver. So now if you got prehnite that blesses the kidneys, hooked up with epidote that blesses the liver, man, that's a phenomenal combination. And I think that's why they say, oh, Prehnite, I'll say with epidote, right? This is the stone for the healer. This is the healer of the healers.
Healing for the healers, King.
Healer
Say
for
you
the
right.
healers. Those that they serving a lot, they're doing a lot, they're giving a lot.
Energetically.
Energetically. This is one of the most rejuvenative,
Minerals.
yeah, crystals you can work with. What's your thoughts, brethren? I know I've said a mouthful.
Hey, man, shoot. I glean on every word, bro. You know, I know you ain't speaking out the side of your neck. You're speaking from a heartical place. And we speaking about Prehnite, that's what we're talking about. We're talking about the heartical place,
Mm,
right? Because Prehnite will typically be a green, but it tends by itself to be more of a yellowish green. It's fading
yes.
between, yellow and green. And what does that tell us chakra wise?
Mm,
It's connecting the chakra of willpower, which is your solar plex. The solar plex chakra is governed by the golden ray, free will, creativity, all them things. And then the heart chakra is all about morality. The heart chakra is all about the center of our microcosmic being. We are biological crystals and we're interdimensional beings. We have 7 chakras. So the one in the center of the 7 is heart chakra. The heart chakra is the anchor. It is our interdimensional compass. This is why Ma'at measures us by that. Ma'at doesn't measure us by our mind. It doesn't measure us by our pleasure. It doesn't measure us by what we create. It measures us by what we create and how it affects the space and the time that we're in. So this is why Prehnite is such an alchemical, mystical element to work with. If it is on our heart and on our mind to do our best work, and to be aligned with our higher self. The Prehnite is the element that deals with earth and water. You know what I'm saying? It deals with the joy. Let me read it verbatim.
please.
Prehnite is an earth and water element ally that brings joy to the heart and peace to the mind. Because until we get to that space of what you say, no guiltiness, no filthiness, upon we consciousness, then life is a struggle. And life, then what we ever experience after we leave this place is something we have to account for. Prehnite is a top shelf ma'atical mineral. Ma'atical meaning lining up your heart with your higher self, tapping into your higher self, tapping into the higher forces, and operating from that space versus slipping into the slopes of egotism and crab in the bucket. I got mine, you get yours. And I'm not even trying to knock nobody because it does make sense for a lot of folks. But this fleshical experience is transitory. If you put all your stocks in what you got fleshically, if you sell your soul to gain the world, chances are when you get summons up out of here, you're gonna have problems.
Mm.
You know what I'm saying? You're gonna have problems. And so knowing what we know, that this fleshical experience is not the end all to be all. This Prehnite is one of those mystical masters, one of these sacred elements emerging from the womb of the earth that can serve as critical ally to make sure we don't get lost in the sauce of gain the world to lose your soul.
Wow. Hey,
Yeah.
let's mention the highest quality Prehnite comes out of Mali, right?
Hey,
You
yo,
gotta know that.
hey,
So,
what's the relevance of that? What's the relevance? A lot of these folks might not know where Mali is. Why does that matter, Ross Ben?
well, it's in the
What you
Sahara.
mean, Mali?
It's in the Sahara, north of the northern side of the Niger River Delta. And that's Dogon land, of course. So yeah, man, you're getting a piece of that anciency when you're getting these things.
All right.
Uh,
All right. Well, what about Abu Bukhari? What about Mansa Musa?
uh,
Mali,
uh, uh,
when you're dealing with West Africa, Mali was the largest empire in West Africa. Ghana was pretty big. Songhai, they gained a lot of range. But the largest, the most wealthy empire on the planet when Europe was going through the Dark Ages was this empire they called Mali,
yes,
you know?
yes. So all
Yeah,
that
so
anciencies.
current day Mali is just a fraction, it's just a shadow of what it used to be, you know, in the 13th century, 12th, 13th, 14th century, right? Um, so Abu Bukhari is noted for sending one of the largest sea-bound expeditions to the Western Sea, which is what they call the Atlantic Ocean, right? This was under a Mali emperor named Abu Bukhari,
Uh,
right? And this is in the 1300s. And if for them that don't know them history or maybe not so versed, the Aztec Empire emerged right there in the early 1300s. You
right,
have this influx of high culture, pyramid builders, and the like, alchemist, herbalists. You just got high culture emerging in the Americas, a resurgence in the Americas in the 1300s, which is like, I think it was 1311 when Abu Bukhari sent the first expedition out. And I think it was 1313 when he himself set out with the next expedition. First expedition, I think they had about 200 ships. Second expedition, 400 to 600 ships of high scientists, not just, folks who could navigate big water, but, herbalists, uh, the whole spectrum of folks through society. Learned ones and ones were the ones who were sent petitions to come and be a part of the expedition to find out what's beyond the Western Sea,
yes,
according to West Africa, which is the Atlantic Ocean. And
yes,
right,
I.
within
So
within a decade or two, you got the explosion of the Aztec culture. You know, yeah.
yes, I.
Um,
Well, give thanks, brethren, for that. So they know all these anciencies
yes,
this is the region this stone is coming out.
right,
Uh,
right. So the epidote is a darker element in the prehnite, and it is like a green tourmaline, but it has a special quality. Certain of them, right? We was talking about that magnetism last
uh,
week. You asked that question: Is that magnetic green, is that associated with magnetism? And what I would say is epidote seems to me to fit into that magnetic green ray. This is a pretty high powered magnet. It's not super high powered, but it's sure enough attached to the epidote, you know?
so what do
So
you
yeah, when
think's
we talk
making
about,
the epidote magnetic? Do you think it has iron in it, or
well, I think,
typically tourmalines tend to be aluminum silicates? Do you know what's maybe making the epidote magnetic?
well, maybe there is that superheated iron in them. Same kind of superheated iron you'll find in the seraphinite. It's the
Seraphinite,
same
yes,
color. It's the same
yes,
color.
yes,
Epidote and that's a seraphinite quartz. If you had them side by side, I don't know that you could discern one from the other.
right.
So if I had to guess, there's probably some of that superheated iron in epidote.
This is epidote.
Oh, damn.
This is epidote quartz.
Sheesh. You got a magnet? to demonstrate what it
I
do?
don't know if that. I don't think this is magnetic. To be honest,
Okay.
I think the
Wow.
quartz, because you see, it's a lot of times, like if it's straight epidote, it'll be magnetic. I think
Right.
because it's embedded in quartz, the quartz minimizes its
Sheesh.
magnetic potential on them levels, you know. Yo, this is the one I got. I'm gonna grab one more. We
But
can
hey, you showed me some of them with that quartz and the epidote quartz, the magnets do stick to it.
I think that was just mostly epidote. Man, where are they? I'm gonna find them too. I'm not gonna spend a lot of time looking for it because you just demonstrated it. Where are you, Star? You there, Ross?
I'm right there.
All right. This is
Oh,
the one.
snap.
This is the one I'm sending you.
Oh, snap.
It's
And all
double
that darkness is
terminated.
because of the epidote?
Huh?
All that darkness is because of the epidote?
Yes. This is actually
Damn.
green, not black. I know it looks.
Oh, snap. Oh. Uh, 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 uh. Uh. Yeah.
This is a
Yeah.
moon calling me.
Uh,
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
yo.
Um, so yeah, man. The Prehnite with epidote. I think it's a very important stone for 2023 for its actual impact on our physical well-being. Because, oh, right, what I wanted to mention too, when you gave me this now I know it's been a mild winter, but it's not uncommon for me to go through what they call that seasonal attitude disorder, you know, where the lack of sunshine and the cold weather really impacts me. And I just noticed even the older I get, it's more than just my attitude, it's actually my wellness, you know, like uh the expansion and contraction, that hot and cold. It's not easy on the body when you know, going through your second Saturn return. But
Damn.
man, when you put this pre-night unk, you gifted this to me, and wearing it up here this season helped me phenomenally, you know? And
Right.
it just showed me how important it is with what we might call geopathic stress. Because I'm sure it's not just being on, it isn't just the cold and the lack of sun, but it's that in an urban environment, you know,
Yes.
a toxic, polluted environment. If I was in a more natural environment up here, the, that thing wouldn't probably hit me so hard, you know? But
Yes.
yeah, man, pre-night. You got any closing thoughts on it?
Well, that wasn't a premeditation, man. This is part of the magic of I imagination. What you said, we've been doing this for 20 plus years. Sometimes I'll have a vision and I'll fashion a thing and I might even vibe with it for a while. In that particular case, that ankh, I did vibe with that ankh. I wore it on my person. I knew just based on the stones involved in it, pre-night, it ain't that rare, but there are certain unique formations. In your piece, the top piece looks like a yin yang naturally.
Yeah,
Look like a natural yin yang. You know what I'm saying? It's pre-night. Epidote on one side, the pre-night on the other.
it's crazy.
I saw that when that thing was fashion, and I'm like, you know what, this ain't for the market.
Uh,
And I wore it for a few seasons, but just through the nature of the work, we overs that we got to create the space and time to let these things make their moves. That thing couldn't just move to anybody, and so just through the time and the work we was doing in South Florida, got that download like, yo, that piece is for Rod Spin,
uh,
and I had no idea it would have been received the way it was. And
yes.
really, that's the reason why we're having this episode, because your feedback after working with that piece and just like really just communicating like, yo, this pre-night is critical when we're dealing with these urban environments, when we're going through these seasons that ain't really most conducive to being out in the sun and charging melanin. Um, Evergreens, the
Yes.
evergreens have an ashe about them, and
Yes.
pre-night seems to connect with that evergreen ashe
I
when
like
it
that.
deals with us alchemically.
Yeah, man. It's a good way to look at it. Yeah, man.
Yeah, yeah.
All right, Star. So what we say? How
Hey,
we
you know how we
sealing
do.
this?
Hey, you know how we do, bro. What you gonna do next?
Say steady on your good works.
Steady on your good works, bro. We just getting started. We're not done.
All
We're
right.
not done. Hey, I love you, my brother, for the way your mind works, the way you have this natural orientation to, I am my brother's keeper. We're talking about pre-night. We're talking about all things relevant to the heart. What is
Yes.
the condition of your heart? If you're serving yourself, your heart probably kind of got some malice and some foul shit on it.
Uh,
You know? Yeah. If we really are going to be this critical generation of I Magi's, the folks who can imagine a future that's not dominated by the Western world propaganda agendas, then we have to be in touch with our heart, man, in a good way. And this is what we're saying. Pre-night is one of them elements that can critically help us stay connected to the I am because we are, even when it seems like everybody else is crabs in the bucket. I got
mm,
mine, you get
mm,
yours.
mm.
You know what I'm
Yes.
saying? So alchemically, if you connected to the I am because we are, get some pre-night in your life so you don't become one of the crabs in the bucket on some doggy dog.
Mm.
You know?
Absolutely.
Yeah,
All right,
yeah.
Star. Give thanks.
Yes, I.